What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to the next installment of It's Better Than You Think. As you can see today, we are taking a look at the Pearlescent Carnage. The gameplay footage you're seeing right now, I want to make a note of. Normally in these types of videos, I talk about how you really don't need specific parts for most weapons. Well, the Carnage is a bit of an exception. The Carnage is a shotgun that has one projectile, and what this means is that it is massively boosted by the vertical grip, because the vertical grip always just adds 2 projectiles. So when you go from having 1 to having 3, that's obviously a massive bonus. Now I just wanted to quickly show some gameplay not using the vertical grip. This is not a vertical grip and not a torque grip, so not a matching grip, so this is not a good version. I just wanted to show you what it was capable of without it as a point of comparison. So you can see it's decent, but it's definitely much better with the vertical grip, and if you can get it, you really want that. I'm also using the Heart of the Ancients in this clip, which is one of my favorite relics. I did want to showcase it for this video. The Heart of the Ancients allows you to be really aggressive, and you'll see I end up getting downed several times here. Usually I try to play a bit more defensively, but because the Heart of the Ancients gives you such good defensive bonuses, you can be really aggressive with it. So I'll talk about this stuff more in a second, but I did want to give a quick intro on that. You can see without the vertical grip, the Carnage is really struggling against this badass enemy. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get into the rest of the video. Alright guys, and here we are with the vertical grip version. Like I said, this is one of the exceptions where you really do want a specific part to massively benefit the weapon. And like I said, the Carnage is one that some people, again, it falls in that area where some people do know it's good, but a lot of people don't. And it being a Pearlescent, I did want to go ahead and cover it. I'll just go ahead and quickly go through the gear and skills here. Snider for slagging, Blockade, Transfusion grenade, chaotic neutral rogue. Because the Carnage cannot get critical hits, I wanted to go ahead and go with the chaotic neutral for those mag size and fire rate bonuses, and we'll get some decent skill bonuses from it too. Again, a Heart of the Ancients. This is a really slept on relic. It gives you a multiplicative damage bonus, although it does scale poorly with the B shield. If you are using it with the B shield, a Bone of the Ancients scales better with the B shield. But you can see we get increased fight for your lifetime, increased shotgun damage, and increased second wind health. The fight for your lifetime is nice, and the second wind health means that you will be above health gate when you get back up from fight for your life. So that's really nice. Especially because sometimes you get in a situation where like you're surrounded and enemies just keep blasting you apart and you keep getting downed over and over again. Well, this will prevent that. Another reason I wanted to showcase the Carnage is because I did want to showcase a weapon that cannot be boosted by a Bone of the Ancients, and just show what I might use instead. So the Heart of the Ancients is good, the Shadow of the Seraphs could work, but yeah, some other good options too. An Allegiance Relic could work. Quickly take a look at the skills here. Now remember, it cannot crit, so it will not gain bonuses from critical hits. Velocity here does give us gun damage and bullet speed, so it's still good. Two Fang, 60% double shot chance, this will be really good. I had one leftover point, that's what this random point in Fearless is here. And then over here in this skill tree, I did actually go ahead and fully spec into Lock the Wind. I just did this for a bit of variety, because you don't typically see people use it. I believe Lock the Wind is an additive bonus, so it's not going to be huge, but at 9 points it will be decent, you know. Be Like Water, an interesting skill, but unfortunately the bonuses just aren't really high enough to make it very good, but I did go ahead and take it to move down the skill tree. One thing to note is that it does stack with Death Mark, so if you apply a melee Death Mark, normally enemies will take 80% increased damage. Well, if you apply a melee Death Mark with Be Like Water, on your first damage instance, they will take 100% extra damage instead. Be Like Water also typically performs poorly with shotguns because it only applies to the first pellet that lands. But I'm thinking that since the Carnage only has 3 pellets, and each one deals a high amount of damage, maybe it'll be a little bit better for it. And alright, now I guess we can go ahead and get into the gameplay here. I am doing live commentary, so let's try to see if I can play pretty decently. Alright, let's see if this guy will jump down here. I'm going to take him out. So you can see, very good weapon. Again, it's one of those ones in a weird area where some people do know that it's good. But you know, there's a lot of people who don't realize how good these Pearlescents can be. Okay, so that's one problem. You got to be careful not to down yourself with this thing. And that was my mistake. And like I said, the Heart of the Ancients is a really nice relic for allowing you to play very aggressively. So we'll be able to take advantage of that. And like I said, this is one of the rare exceptions where you do really need specific parts to make it perform much better. I believe the vertical grip also gives you fire rate bonuses, so really, really nice there. And as you can see, like I said, I'm going to play a bit more aggressively than I usually do, just to show off the capabilities of the Heart of the Ancients and how good those defensive bonuses are. Now, overall, I don't think it's better than the Bone of the Ancients, but it is another option. And, you know, like I said, there's not a Bone of the Ancients for explosive weapons or non-elemental weapons. But I will also use an explosive relic on the Axton section. I'm going to do a section with him too. Wow, I did not know that could hurt me like that. But alright, let's go ahead and move up here. I need to get my health back. Take this guy out. Alright, get up here. Sometimes on uneven terrain it struggles a bit, I guess because... So I'll go ahead and let this guy down me. This is another thing I like to do. If I'm about to go down, I can just let the enemy down me and then go ahead and second wind off of them. Now, I'm not going to play too crazily because obviously if you keep getting downed over and over, you will eventually just auto bleed out, and I have been downed a bunch of times already, so I probably need to chill at least a little bit. The Heart of the Ancients, it is very good for that, but it's, you know, it'll catch up to you if you just keep going down over and over again. But you can see this thing does not suck at all. It is a very, very good weapon, a very, very good Pearlescent. Again, when you can get it with that vertical grip. And like I said, I am going to also do a run with Axton. Something to keep in mind is the Carnage does not benefit from grenade splash damage bonuses. The Carnage deals pure splash damage, but confusingly, splash damage is separate from grenade splash damage. They're like two different things, so something to keep in mind. Also, explosive damage deals reduced damage to shields. You deal 20% less damage to shields. But, you know, we're still going to be able to get by. Okay, I cannot see this guy. There we go, finally. So for Axton, it's not, you know, a great option. I mean, it's not the best option for him, but it is workable. Oh, shoot. The Ravager is really good for Axton. It does gain grenade splash damage bonuses. So you can see just how much time I had in Fight for Your Life there. Like I said, I am playing a lot more aggressively than I typically would. This is a weapon that will chew through ammo, so that is something to keep in mind. You'll probably be okay, but you do have to be a little bit cautious and make sure to open those ammo crates. But, I mean, damage-wise, it's just taking these guys out very, very easily. Where the f*** is everyone? And like I said before, I did want to cover some more Pearlescents, because people do have a perception that they are worthless, and I would say about half of them are really good. Now again, the Carnage does have a couple of asterisks there. It does really need the vertical grip, and it does chew through ammo. Unfortunately, it can only be obtained from Tubby enemies, which means farming a vertical grip on it is going to be a pain. But it is at least guaranteed to spawn with an accessory. So if you're farming something like the Twister, because of its blue rarity, the Twister is not guaranteed to spawn with an accessory. But, you know, the Twister is very good regardless of accessory. The Carnage does really rely on getting that vertical grip. Like I said, I think the vertical grip does also boost fire rate as well. But you can see we're making quick work of these enemies here. Zero is really, really good with shotguns in general. This weapon is also really good on Krieg. Now, I don't play Krieg, but I will link to Mr. TX01's Krieg Pearlescents video. That's a really great video for showcasing the capabilities of some of these Pearlescents. So definitely check that out. I seriously just took my first fucking mobbing death. Wow. Oh my god, I forgot that those guys could send you flying like that. Okay, well, I think that was the first time I have died doing a mobbing section like this. So the Heart of the Ancients, really, really good, really great defensive capabilities, but it actually cannot defy gravity. So do watch out for those enemies who could send you flying off the map. I completely disregarded that as a possibility, and I did pay the price. But, you know, again, death has like no consequences in this game. I'm just gonna let this tick down a little bit more slowly so you can see how much time you have. So really, really good for staying alive. And like I said, it is a great relic for boosting stuff that does not have an element, you know. So Heart of the Ancients, really, really good relic. It does also drop from legendary loot midgets, along with the bone and all those other E-Tech relics. But yeah, we'll go ahead and head on over to the Axton section. Like I said, I did spec out my skill trees a little bit differently here. Like I said, Be Like Water, the gun damage does only apply to your first damage instance. So for shotguns, it's typically not good. But I thought, you know, like I said, where this has only a few high damage pellets, it might be a bit better with it. And we did have 9 total points in Like the Wind, which may not have been great, but, you know, it was a decent bonus. Alright, and here we are with the Axton section. Oh, like I said, I will link to Mr. TX01's Krieg video, because Krieg can make probably the best use of the Carnage. Axton doesn't really have any special synergies with it, but I do like to showcase these weapons on multiple characters so that you can try to get a better understanding of how they'll perform for your character. So for Axton, I'm going to do something a little bit differently here. I'm just going to do more of an explosive-focused build. You can see I'm using an explosive relic. Again, the Bone of the Ancients cannot come in explosive element. So the explosive relic can be nice for explosive weapons. The Torg Allegiance can be good too. I may mess with that eventually. But I'm just using some good explosive weapons here. The Ogre, Carnage, obviously I'm going to mainly focus on it. Creamer, this is one of my favorite launchers. It gives you good healing, and if you can get the pellet split distance right, it's one of the highest damage launchers in the game. I wanted to show a health stacking setup here. Some people think that health stacking is not viable on OP10, but you'll see with the evolution and Axton's defensive skills, it'll be plenty good enough. You can see we get plus 3 million health, plus 73% elemental resistance, and we will regen our health, so that'll be really nice. Although these shield stats are pretty weak, but you know, that's kind of the trade-off. For a grenade, I may just go ahead and run the Slag Singularity to kind of disrupt these guys. I shouldn't really, well actually I'll just go ahead and run the Longbow Slag Transfusion, because I will have a lot of health, so this will help us get our health. Plus it's just a really great slag tool. Legendary Soldier, it's just such a great class mod. I am going to do some Axton builds without it. I realize I've been using it for a lot of these Axton builds, but I will showcase some different ones down the road. And then like I said, Explosive Relic. And then just let me quickly explain the skills here. I didn't feel the need to max out Sentry. It's at 9 points, that'll be plenty good enough. I did go ahead and take Scorched Earth here. 4 points into Expertise, 1 point into Impact to move down the skill tree and activate the class mod. 5 points into Overload to benefit the Ogre here. And then I did go ahead and take both of these. Usually when a skill is 1 point, I will often take it because it's just for 1 point to get those good bonuses. That's really nice. Like I said, the Carnage does not benefit from grenade splash damage bonuses. And then 10 total points in Healthy for our health stacking, 10 total points in Preparation for better shield and health regen. And then these are all just really good defensive skills here. And then of course we'll have our double slag turrets. And I did decide to go ahead and come to the Immortal Woods here. Like I said, explosive damage is not typically good for the default skeletons, but hopefully for these enemy types it should be okay. And let's see. I got a text, so I need to check that. Alright, but yeah, you can see doing pretty good work against these enemies here. Like I said, I did want to showcase some builds that are good for these type of enemies. And it's been a while since I used the Creamer, so I may have trouble getting the pellet distance, the pellet split correct. So you can see Ogre, pretty good little weapon here. A lot of people do know that this one is good. I'm going to mostly showcase the Carnage here, but I did want to do a little bit more of a well-rounded build. And like I said, health stacking is pretty good on Axton. Let's see if I can get this distance right. So you can see it's very strong when you can. I really like the Creamer. You do get it from the from completing the Creature Dome in the Wildlife Preserve. Alright, so I did take a dot, but the evolution is holding up. Let's reload and get back into the action down here. Explosive Axton is a lot of fun to play around with. Like I said, the Explosive Relic is good for explosive weapons that, of course, cannot be benefited by a Bone of the Ancients. We'll just spawn camp these guys and take them out. Ooh, yeah. I may have to make a fully dedicated Explosive Axton build. That might be kind of redundant. I don't know. Maybe I can just do a Torg Allegiance Axton down the road. So you can see we completely eviscerated those guys. Like I said, the explosive weapons do deal only 62% base damage to the skeletons in this DLC. But for enemies like this, it should be plenty good enough. As you can see, we're taking them out pretty easily. Oh, also, Axton's turrets are good for dealing with the skeleton mages. It can help slag and stagger them, so maybe we'll show a little bit of that. I really love this DLC, man. It's one of my favorite pieces of content in all of gaming. Which I think a lot of people like it, but they do find these enemies pretty annoying. And like I have said, I did want to showcase some different ways of dealing with them. Do refer to that TD or Axton video if you want to see some more in-depth testing with those skeletons to see what I'm referring to the damage numbers there. I did want to kill myself by shooting too close to that guy. But if your explosive weapon has splash and non-splash damage, those skeletons only resist, they take 82% base damage instead of 62%. But the Carnage deals pure splash damage, so it only deals 62% base damage against them. But it can still get the job done, sometimes. And then something like the Ahab, which deals no splash damage, it was also only dealing 62% base damage. So I think it's based on that. It seems like if your weapon has both, then it performs a bit better. Alright, let's go ahead and take this guy out. Like I said, not going to be great for these skeletons in particular, but it is getting the job done. With this guy, let me show you what Axton's turrets can do to these guys. So when he spawns, they should be able to help slag and stagger him. Was that him? Oh no, that's a different enemy. Okay, so you can see it will draw his aggro, and he was slag, so I was able to easily take him out. These guys, I think, are weak to melee damage. So maybe I can hit him with the Creamer. There we go, there we go. Yeah. Creamer, really, really excellent launcher. There's going to be some more skeleton seers over here. Let's see if we can deal with them. Sorry if I've been kind of spaced out during this gameplay. I've had a lot of distractions going on. I always feel like I need to redo it, but I typically don't let myself because I have a policy against cherry-picking runs. But hopefully it's not too bad. So I thought those guys spawned like way over here, so that was my mistake. This is going to be one of those times where I really probably should have redone it. Okay. So see, they will draw aggro and get slagged, and it'll help us take them out. You can just track that little orb, and then just be ready to shoot. Sometimes they will despawn immediately, but if you can stagger lock them, you'll be able to stagger lock them and take them out. You know, they're actually weak to fire, by the way. The skeleton seers, the skeleton mages. So like a fire Topnia is good for them. How did that didn't kill him? Seriously? Okay, I'm being really sloppy here. Alright. So this is really letting us down right now. Without slag, it's not able to really hurt him. But there we go. We'll take the prick out that way. Well, let's go bully these salamander dragon dudes. Yeah, the Carnage, very, very good Pearlescent with the vertical grip. Like I said, I will link to Mr. TX01's Krieg run with it. Krieg is really, really good with the Carnage. And I did want to just mix the video up a bit and also make it a bit of a hybrid Axton build Carnage showcase video, so hopefully you guys appreciate that. Let's see, like I said, I will revisit Torg Axton down the road because very, very effective. Alright. And yeah, like I said, health stacking is plenty viable on OP10, especially for Axton. You know, he's got health regen skills already, and then with the evolution, it's just really good. Wow, man, that guy just wiped me out. That's crazy. But yeah, the Ogre is another good assault rifle. Assault rifles are much better than people give them credit for as well, so I do look forward to showcasing some assault rifles. I would say there's about a dozen or so really good assault rifles in this game. So you can see the damage of the explosive weapons is falling off a bit against these guys, because again, they do resist it. Shock is basically the best damage type to use against them because they take neutral damage from it, and it can be boosted by a Bone of the Ancients. They resist everything except for Shock, Non-Elemental, and Slag. And obviously Slag cannot get the full benefit of the Slag on Slag modifier. Or another way to say that is, I think you only gain 100% extra damage from Slag on Slag, versus like, oh, those guys reflect bullets as well. So see, a lot of these enemies, because I primarily play Zero, I don't realize that they have bullet deflection. Because Zero has Bore, and Bore stops bullet deflection. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, I have had a lot of distractions during this run, and it has really affected my ability to focus and play. Like I said, maybe I should have just redone the run, but, you know, like once like somebody said in the comments, it's also good to show that even when you do have distractions and you're not playing your best, you can still perform okay. You can still manage, even if you're not at your best. Like I said, I do really enjoy this DLC. It's a lot of fun, and when you know the ways of dealing with the enemies, it's just that much more fun. Alright, let's see if I can get this distance right. No, I think I was too close. Let's see here. Or too far away. Oh, I was a bit too far away, I think. There we go. Like I said, the Creamer does also have good healing, so it's nice for a health stacking build, although, you know, not required. Alright, so I see a Skeleton Mage over there, so let's, oh, he is behind me. Alright, I'm kind of in a bad spot now because I don't have my turrets, and now all these guys are pushing me into a corner. I may need the second wind off of this guy here, so I'm going to actually let him live. Let's see if we can... There we go. Yeah, when you get that pellet split, that thing is really, really strong. Oh, took that Skeleton Mage out really easily, too. I was a little bit too close for him, I think. There we go. Those skeleton, or eternal skeletors, or whatever they're called, they can be really annoying because you cannot second wind off of them. I may end up scrapping this footage and starting over, guys. If I feel like it's, if it really is as bad as I'm feeling it is, then I'll just have to redo this entire video. We'll see. Sometimes I feel like it's like way worse than it is, but yeah, we'll see. You can also grab the swords from these guys while they're still alive. It's a bit risky though. Alright, I think that's all of them. Nope, here's somebody else. And yeah, as I said before, you do really want the vertical grip on this thing. It's not useless without it, but it is very, very much better with it. But anyway, guys, there you go. There's the Carnage on an explosive build with a health stacking setup. I do hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, and I do hope to see you next time.